In this video, I'll go over how I made over 20k last week in the markets. Now, this right here is my TradeZella. These are the trades that I want to go over, and I want to explain, break down, and show you what I did to accomplish these trades last week. If you want to see more like this, by the way, let me know in the comments, as if I get enough comments, I will break down my week's winners or losers a lot more often. So let's get into the first trade of the week. This was USD CHF right here. If we click on this one, we can also see where we enter and exit these ones. I did not review them yet myself, so we're basically going to do that a little bit together. If we go to the 15 minutes, we can see, okay, we executed our order right here. It was a short position on USD CHF to the downside, and we got out right here. What happened is that price came out of a decline, right? Price was moving down lower and lower and lower. And as you see right here, we had a fair value gap on the daily. It was a fair value gap that we were respecting a couple of times, right? We came into this on Wednesday the week before. We came into this on Thursday. On Friday, we came into this one as well, and we took out the highs, also retesting this order flow zone. And then on Monday, we saw a huge decline to the downside. Now, of course, this trade was after that taken on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, I was basically looking for a continuation to the downside to take out these lows that we have right here. And as you can see, we were able to capitalize on that move as we were consolidating at this point, breaking out of the consolidation zone and moving to the downside. Now, how did we come to this trade in detail? Is basically we saw a fair value gap right here on the 1 hour. It was respecting this a couple of times. And then at New York Open, we tapped into this one and we rejected it completely on the hourly. And as you can see on the 50 minute, we saw a good break to the downside. And this is where I entered. I believe I entered on a 5 minute. It says I entered right here on this candle. Let me see the exact timing that I entered as well. It was 13:30. So it was on this exact candle. So if I remember correctly, I took my entry like this. I probably entered right here. My stops could have been above this high, and then my exit was around here. Yeah, this was somewhat the trade. I made 2.5, so it's probably going to be something like this. And then I took the trade like this. So I have a couple of entries that I use. First of all, it's going to be the limit order. It's this one. It's basically when price steps into this. And if your stop loss is big enough, if you can afford it for price to go up higher, mess around right here and then go lower, then the limit order is great. Now, the second one is a stop order. You will probably see this in the next trade as well. It is when price has to break through your entry and stop it on the other side. Or just a market order is the one that you all know. But when you use a limit order, it is very, very important that stops are above a high that can be or that should be respected by the set. And in this case, USD CHF worked out very, very nicely. And I just targeted the first lows that I saw that could have been from importance, and that was this zone right here below these lows, targeting this OB right here. I was like, okay, let's just be sure. There's also, it was around 5 or 6 p.m. when I closed this trade, 5:38. And I was like, okay, I'm out of the trade. I'm good. I had an amazing day. This is enough for me. So amazing, amazing trade, USD CHF. Shout out to Jamie, my program. He's in the one-on-one mentorship, and he spotted this in the London session. In the London session, it was not ready yet, but in New York it was, and it was a very, very nice trade. So the second one that we took was, and I took this on a couple accounts, that's why it was a bit higher return. So it was a long position, and we took the long right at this place right here, a bit later than the USD CHF trade, like half an hour later. And we got out at this place right here. So if we go to the 1 hourly, it's a bit easier to see. We took this trade. So basically what I was doing is I was waiting for price to continue up higher. And my overall targets were these highs, but I will show you why I did get out at this place. So what happened was that I was anticipating this move already from London session. But as you can see in London session, it was already moving away from us. Because London opens at 9 a.m. my time, so that will be this candle. Now, price moved away. I was like, okay, fine. If price pulls back in the New York session, then I might enter still. Now, price was pulling back, and we saw basically no place of a reversal at this point. Now, when New York opened, we saw price dipping below these lows, taking out all of the liquidity that it gathered from the London session. I was like, okay, fine. This is a very good sign for us that price could turn around right here. Now, then I waited for price to show a bit of a bullishness on the 5 minutes, and we had this, right? We had this, price came out of this zone, showed bullish engulfings, and this is where I got in. My stops were underneath these lows. My target was this high right here. So basically what it looked like was, it was a trade ID like this. And the entry was, to be precise, it was something like this, right? So basically what I was waiting for on the 5 minute was a push. Then when the 1 minute broke above these highs once again, and I was like, okay, let's go into the trade. It was maybe a bit early to get into it. Normally I like to wait for a market structure shift to be 100% sure. But in this moment, I was like, okay, price is moving up very aggressively higher. And of course, afterwards it dumped, but it is moving up higher. We took out liquidity. We are showing bullishness. I think it is ready to go up higher. Now, why I did go out at this place is because dollar took out these highs or the lows, right? Dollar is inverted from Euro USD and it took out the lows. I was like, okay, the move is over. Move is over. We have a bit of a divergence right here. The move is over on DXY. So let's get out on Euro USD because this one is going to turn around. And we got out exactly on the highs. So as you can see, the average exit right here was 1.095. 1.095 is literally the top right here. If I want to check the other ones, I think it will be very, very similar. This one was out at 1.9498. Also a very good exit. The entry was exactly the same. And this one I got out at 1.944. So it was a little bit lower. I took 3 positions, basically on 3 accounts. And I like to do this because of course I trade with multiple accounts. And sometimes I just take 1 position, just on 1 account to be sure, to be safe. But sometimes when I see a good position like this, and when I'm pretty sure about it, I take multiple positions. Now, of course, this can blow up in your face and you can have all of them wrong, but my risk management allowed it at this place. And the overall risk was something that I could handle. So that was day 1. It was a very nice 10K day. And basically, Wednesday I did nothing. And then on Thursday, I did another 10K day. So this was very nice. Again, USD-CHF and Euro USD. So USD-CHF right now was a buying position. So if we go to the 4 hour, it's a bit too zoomed in right here. If we go to the 1 hour, like this. We saw price, and price obviously came out of the zone, dropped down low as a trade that we took. Then price took out these lows right here. And basically after that this happened, I saw, okay, we are creating this kind of double bottom pattern right here. And we came out of this with some displacement already into the London session open. Now, this is also where I entered right before London Open, because at London Open, or right after London Open at 9:30, we had CHF news. And basically this was, I believe it was CPI on CHF, and it was worse than expected, I believe. So we saw the CHF move lower. And this was, of course, perfect for a USD CHF long right here that we took. So I saw price, okay, it took out these lows in Asia. Then we moved up higher. Creating this shift, creating a higher low right here, creating a new higher high on a lower time frame. On a 5 minute, it's a bit more clear to see like this. And this is then where I entered. So I entered the position right here when we broke these highs. This was a stop order. So this is when market breaks through a zone to take a position like this. And then my exit was somewhere here, I believe. So as you can see, the initial target was 2.5 R. This was the trade, something like this. My stops were underneath these lows, just to be sure, because these lows are not really permanent, so to say. They are not really strong. So I want to see, or I want to put my stop loss in a place where it is protected underneath the low that already took out liquidity, so that there is basically no point for price to move back to that zone once again. So this, again, a very beautiful trade, if I say so myself. Then we had 2 other trades, basically one huge trade that contributed to this, this whole day being as great as it was. Let's go over the other one first. So this is a move that we took, a very, very small move. And it was basically just because I was a little bit testing the waters, and I was protecting my capital right here as well, because price moved down lower and we took out this low right here. And again, I took this trade on 2 accounts. So basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to protect my capital. As I was like, okay, I had an amazing day on Tuesday. Let's close at least one of the 2 for 1 hour, just a chill trade, because we took out these lows and let the other one run, right? So price moved lower right here. And again, this was based on price being in a decline, moved away from the zone, right? This is where we took that trade long. We failed to break the high. So, okay, we can expect price to move lower, seek other liquidity or turn around. Price moved around right here, also inverting all the fair value gaps that it bullishly created right here. And then in my opinion, we had a very obvious draw on liquidity right here, were these lows. Now, what did we have in London session? Where on the 15 minute was this fair value gap right here. As you can see, we came into this perfectly and we rejected it so nicely. So this is also where I entered. I entered on this candle, this rejection candle right here, and it took the trade lower. So I ended up probably something like this. My stops, I believe, were above these highs, and then I got out somewhere around here. I got out for a 1.2, so my entry was even a little bit lower, something like this. My liquidity was really kicking, and I took this trade, continuation lower. Now, the other trade that I took was the same trade, but I let this one run. So let's see. All right, same trade, same entry, fair value gap, entered right there. And basically what we did is we took this one like this, something like this, and we took it lower, and basically it hit TP completely. So it was a 4-hour trade, and there was 2K on the line on this one. And as you can see, price hits TP perfectly. We could have dragged a little bit longer, but it was a very nice trade to be in and out in a little over 2 hours. So it was a very, very beautiful trade with a very good continuation to the downside. And basically my overall target were these lows, right? Were these lows, and as you can see, we also hit this one. But I was like, okay, this 4-hour move, it's enough. We are hitting this zone right here. So this was my target, right? This zone, these lows. As I thought, okay, if price moves down, there is always a chance that it does something like this, and then it moves lower. Then I'm in the trade for the whole day, and the 8K, completing this day to be a 10K day, 11, almost 12K day even. It was amazing, right? Perfect for me. And these are numbers that I usually don't do. I do this on a month on average, right? But now to do this on a week, very, very nicely. And of course, the margin is not over yet. I'm curious to see where we can bring this. And if you want to see more of this often, more of these breakdowns often, just let me know, because I think this is something that you can learn a lot more from, how I use these fair value gaps, how I use the order blocks, how I view the markets, and how I take these continuations as well. So I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye, guys.